name's Chris Keating, and thank you for joining me as I open the envelope on the welcome pack from the Derbyshire Wildlife Trust. So, for those of you who don't know, wildlife trusts are local organisations in the UK which support nature in their patch. I live in Derbyshire, I like wildlife, and from the last video there was a viewer request to compare their welcome pack with the one from the RSPB, which is a larger national conservation charity. So same scope as the Derbyshire Wildlife Trust, but the Derbyshire Wildlife Trust is a smaller local charity. And therefore my expectations are a bit different. They certainly don't have the resources to be sending me books for joining them as a member. What they have sent me, however, is this. It's a A4 brown envelope. It's quite robust. There's a fair bit of stuff inside, which is good. I was wondering if I might just get a letter. Evidently not. Right, let's see. What is in here? Oh, quite a lot of things. Quite a lot of things. We have a Wildflower Gardens insert. We have a magazine. We have my membership card. We have another magazine. Is that the same magazine? Yes. Wilder Derbyshire, and a third issue of Wilder Derbyshire. Sniffing paper again, it smells like a magazine. And some wildflower seeds, which is good. Want to plant wildflower seeds in my garden? Definitely. And a 5-year review. Not an annual review, but a 5-year review. So, just to check, nothing else in this envelope. Because I am surprised there is something missing here, which is a letter. No letter. You see, I was concerned they might only send me a letter, but it turns out they haven't even sent me a letter. So, what is the point of letters? Letters are an expected form of communication between people, and yeah, it's. I feel sad that there's no letter in this. Firstly, on a personal level, because there's nothing that they want to tell me. They just have all of these things which look quite interesting, but they could have written something to me. And on a professional level, because when somebody opens an envelope, they do normally look to see if there's a letter in it, even if there's a load of other stuff. So, yeah, could be improved, but still lots of interesting things. So, my membership card, at least there's some nice, clear, simple messaging about what we're doing. They're creating a wilder Derbyshire and a wilder future by making space for nature. Great! With your support, we stopped the badger cull coming to Derbyshire. Good. So, if you're from the UK, you may have heard about badgers. Farmers insist that badgers are responsible for bovine tuberculosis, which then kills their cows. Conservationists say, well, maybe, but actually the thing you really want to be worried about is badgers moving from place to place, because that then spreads the bovine tuberculosis. So you have some lobbying groups going, shoot the badgers, shoot them all, and then you have people like the Derbyshire Wildlife Trust going, if you just shoot badgers, then they're going to move around more and they're going to breed, so it's not going to make any difference. I have to say, on the side of the badgers with this one. Anyway, so no issue for lots of people, hopefully. I have a membership card. On the back, more benefits from the membership card. So most of their reserves, so there's nature reserves, are freely accessible. However, my membership card contains the gate and hide number. Well, that's cunning. My 2020, it's 2021. I'm assuming I haven't noticed that or there. Or they're using up some old stock. What's the slightly odd thing about this? This has a postage in DCL on it and my address, even though this obviously has postage in DCL and my address. So maybe if you're a renewing member, then they have a package that's just a copy of the magazine and one of these with the cards on. That would make sense. 5-year review document. This is good. I mean, it's an annual report, and how many people actually read annual reports? Except it's a 5-year report, but nice and clear and focused on their impact. Quite pretty. So, okay. Badgers. Vaccinated 221 badgers. Good. So, yes. How much of this is real impact? So they've raised money. Oh, that's good. That's good. Provided this advice and assistance to landowners. Well, that's fine. What does that actually mean? They've registered a rewilding site. Now, I'd like to hear more about a rewilding site that's fairly near me. They have lots of volunteers. So this is a classic multi-purpose document, which this isn't just aimed at individual supporters like me. It's aimed at all kinds of audiences, and it's talking about all kinds of things. And on the back here we have the financial statements, which probably, if you're posting this off to a grant-making trust, they will care. I, as an individual donor, do not really care. However, there is is that a stoat? Is that a stoat? That's cute. Now there's something, this is a bit random. I'd love to share our success with you, but we're in the midst of a biodiversity crisis, a climate crisis. So there's some text there, but it's not saying anything. Anyway, what else? Wildflower seeds. I'm going to shake those at the microphone. It makes a very satisfying noise. You can take action for insects by growing wildflowers. Good. I am blatantly going to do that. And that will be a nice concrete thing, except opposite of concrete, because it's in a garden. A nice thing that I can do, which will make me think, this was a good experience. I have achieved something already. Then bring back our beetles. So Wild Bell Gardens, bring back our beetles. Discover the UK's beetles and how you can help them. So what have we got in here? We have a beetle spotting guide. That's quite cool. Threats to beetles, alternative to using pesticides in your garden. Good, yes. Have a garden, don't want to use pesticides in it. Ways to bring beetles into my garden. Oh no, this is benefits of having them in your garden. Good. I mean, kind of already sold, but good to know. Now this is practical. I can build a beetle bank, make a dead hedge. What more is there? the life of the beetles. Nice. Make a beetle bucket. And if you make a bucket which has lots of beetles in it, then the evil beetles will battle in the buckets. Okay, good. And finally, some information about water beetles. So this is interesting. And it's a partnership between the Wildlife Trusts and the Royal Horticultural Society, who are like garden people. And it's not asking me for money. Some of these partnerships are all about asking me for money, but not that one. So then we have the 3 issues of Wild Derbyshire. Then my eye has settled on the Spring 2020 issue, even though it's the oldest, because it has this amazingly cute legacy advert on the back. Is that a stoat or a ferret? Anyway, good. So I'm going to open this one. It's got a welcome message from the Chief Executive. That's good. It's got some kind of... What does this mean? What is this? Is this a community fundraising advert, or is this a participation? Do something? Well, anyway, it was last year. It's good that they have sent me 3 back issues of the magazine. Looking at the kind of content, so this is more telling me what they have done. New leader, is that new CEO of the countrywide wildlife trust. Something they have done lately. That's good. Looking through, lots of pictures. Very good on the pictures of wildlife, which is what you'd hope. Local birds, swallows, more local birds. This is good. Good content. High Speed 2, which is a large controversial train line. What does it mean for Derbyshire's wildlife? Now I'm going to guess the actual answer is not a huge amount, but also I'm going to guess that's not the answer they're going to put in this. Many additional habitats that have not yet been fully assessed are also likely to disappear. Read that later. So, why do we care about worms? This is quite good. There's lots of interesting material in this, and it's not there's no commercial advertising that I've seen. There's lots of opinion, there's lots of education, there's my wildlife retirement raises a lot of questions. There's another article that assumes I'm old, but yeah, this is interesting. Let's have a look at the most recent issue, Spring 2021. So this has some bluebells on front in the local woodland. On the back, it's another legacy ad. That's fine. It's not as good, like that one. It's better than that one. More wildlife, less words. Anyway, this is the issue that I'm looking at now. I wouldn't say that was a bad legacy advert, but prefer the other one. Contents. Now advertising the same thing for 30 Days Wild in June. Still haven't told me what it is. There's another welcome from the Chief Executive. So, like, once you've read one issue of a charity magazine, you probably have a fair idea of what kinds of stuff I'm likely to find in this one. And I do want to read it. I will set this aside and probably come back to it. Species profile. Well-being. relationship. But what they have done is sent me a load of stuff which I will read and will engage with. They've sent me one thing that I can actually do now, which I will go and do this weekend. Lots of interesting, engaging, quite factual or opinion-y things to read and think about. But no personal connection, no thank you really, no real emotional reward. There will be a bit of a one once I've read all of this, I think.
So I've given this pack a 5 out of 10. There was only one thing wrong with it. Sadly, that was quite a big thing. A well-written personal letter would have made such a big difference and done a great job at forming a really personal connection between me and the cause. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have an idea for the charity whose welcome pack you'd like to see me open, do let me know. Thank you once again, and see you soon.